Welcome to the second part of the interview with Francesco. There are always many questions and answers worth to actually share it, so that's why I developed the idea of two parts, and that's the concept that it's gonna be with other guests in the future as well. Enjoy, guys.
Just say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Alright guys, so we just changed the location in purpose. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's better now.
We just want to be close to the water. You will see that's a beautiful place. Listen, Francesco, what about your trip tomorrow?
The trip tomorrow, hopefully again, it's, you know, with trips it's usually like, it's a hit or miss. It's like catch-22. You go and you know, you can be lucky and catch what you want, or you go there and you pretty much just enjoy. I mean, trips are pretty much, going spearfishing is just spending that, you know, 5-6 hours in the water. That's what matters. But the trip tomorrow is going to be tuna related. We're going to go on the east coast to catch some yellowfin and longfin tuna. That's pretty much the plan for tomorrow's trip. Hopefully some sailfish if there are.
So you being an Italian, and especially Sicilian, like in Italy, do you need to have a license for spearfishing? Or if you don't have, what are the problems with that and what are they connected to?
Well, for spearfishing in Sicily, well, in Italy it's like that. You gotta be 16. At 16 you can legally buy a spear gun. And no, you don't need any license for spearfishing in Italy, no. You can spearfish freely. The only thing you need to have is, again, 16 years of age to buy a gun. And, well, in some islands, like Sardinia, Tremiti, and sometimes even in some places of Lampedusa, you have to get a fishing license. But that's because, you know, those areas, if you're coming from a different type of like country or city, they might ask you, because it's for bureaucracy purposes mainly, and you know, to get to tax onto something. But no, in Italy, in Sicily, where I'm from, the only thing you need to have is 16 years of age to buy a spear gun, and that's pretty much it.
Right. What about let's say sizes of fish if you're in these islands, and then does it make sense for you actually to have this license? Or
The license on those islands is mainly because fish get big, and some part of the islands is because it's a marine protected area. So they do this license so that people don't go in spearfishing in the marine protected area and they don't shoot, you know, smaller fish. But the sizes in throughout Italy are the same, like the fish sizes. So that's a really good thing. So like per se, if I'm fishing in Italy and then I go to Rome or the northern parts, the sizes are always the same. They don't really change accordingly to the city. It's just that they have one law under the whole of Italy, which includes Italy, Sicily, Sardinia, Lampedusa, and Malta also.
Friends in Abu Dhabi, they are so lucky they have a license, and then they can go spearfishing freely and without any problems. Obviously they are following the rules, and here in Dubai unfortunately we don't have much of this. Hopefully it will happen. So what would you suggest? I mean, is it a good idea to create the license? Maybe we can support somehow not only the community but maybe give the idea to the superiors.
Personally speaking, I think it's a good idea to have the license. For one reason, it's because, you know, everyone will respect the rules, because unfortunately sometimes, I'm not going to say any names or I'm not going to say anything, but sometimes I see, like, you know, on like posts on Instagram or posts on Facebook where people just massacre a lot of fish, just 30, 40 kingfish or 30, 40 species of fish, and sometimes I feel sick because I'm like, you know, unless you're selling them, you don't really need that much, but even if you're selling them, again, there isn't really a need to catch that much. So personally speaking, I think a license is good because, you know, it puts everyone under the same book. These are the rules, and pretty much even spearos won't have problems, because like sometimes it happens in Dubai that you go spearfishing somewhere and the lifeguard, no sorry, not the lifeguard, the Coast Guard, yeah, thank you, the Coast Guard gives you problems, but because they don't know what they're talking about most of the times. So that's the main problem. So I think that having a license will put everyone on the same book, and everyone will know the rules and what to do and what not to do.
Then when we were sitting in that beautiful previous actually location, just 5 minutes ago, you mentioned something about the new project and the new gun, and that sounds quite interesting. So tell us more about the prototype, because that's probably how you can call it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a prototype so far, yeah, because of course it's still under construction. What I'm trying to do is, I'm using a Dyneema roller, so it's pretty much, it has 4 bands on the bottom and then it attached to Dyneema line, which loads onto the gun. So take for example this gun. I'm going to show it to the camera so that people can see. When you load the band is on top of the gun. So when you're aiming down the sight, or when you're aiming down the gun, you see the bands. The thing about Dyneema rollers is that the volume of pretty much where you're loading is very little, because all the bands are on the bottom, and the only thing that you're actually loading is line, like this. And line is just gonna go on the sides, and pretty much you're just aiming down a naked gun. And it's easier to aim and take long shots. And what I'm trying to do is pretty much have a mix between the Y system, which is pretty much how the name sounds, Y. It has one band that divides into two sets. So those two sets can either have 4, 6, or 2 bands. And then it's just connected to one, which goes on top. It's pretty much like my torpedo spear gun. If you guys have seen it in the videos, that's what it looks like. And I'm trying to mix that with the Dyneema roller, and I'll see how that goes. Well, the prototype should be ready by probably the summer of 2020, if not spring or winter, because there is still a lot of work to do, but we'll see. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do on the prototype. And the size that I'm going to do mine is the 105. I think the size 105 is probably the most used size, because you can use it for long shots and even sometimes in caves.
So I believe it's been a year as I was going through your quite interesting, actually, but still to be developed probably, a YouTube channel, and you mentioned something important, that you're a part of the team, and that's huge, and then that you got also sponsored, so that's good. So tell us more about what are the plans, what is the team, what is that all about, and what are the goals. And we mentioned before also something about the competition, so if you can follow up with these two topics, that would be great.
Yes, it's been now a year, because I joined this team a year ago during quarantine, and the team name is Spearo, and the channel is called Spearo PescaSub, which is pretty much a channel it's the team's channel where each of us posts videos, and there was some videos where we filmed together in Lampedusa. And the team is made up of me, Emanuele, Daniele, and Dario. Dario and Daniele were the original founders of the team, which I say a big hi and a big kiss and hug to all of you guys. Hopefully you guys are watching this. And Emanuele and me were the latest add-ons, which we got added in last year, this period. And I'm really glad that I'm in this team, because you know, they've made me grow, and they've also made me to what I am now. They've taught me a lot of, you know, new things and new skills, which I'm really thankful for, especially Daniele and Dario. They're really good spearos, both really good free divers. Daniele is a 40 meter plus free diver. He's really good. Also Dario is an amazing free diver, and Emanuele also, even though he's still a beginner, showed me, you know, a lot of new things, and you know, it's good because we beat this PB depth in Lampedusa, which I'm really happy about. And yeah, no, I'm really happy to be part of this team. And for sponsor wise, yes, we've been sponsored by a shop in UAE called Spearo, and which I say a big hi to Jeffrey and Rashid. Thank you for this opportunity. And that's pretty much, you know, team and sponsor wise. For the competition, yes, we are planned to do the national Italy competition for spearfishing teams, and if we pass that, if we get in the top 3, we will go to the internationals, which I think this year will be held in Greece. They still haven't. Well, I still don't think they have announced the final location, but that's the plan. We're hoping to do the international competitions and bring a nice trophy to Italy again.
You mentioned about competition, so you know, I've been spearfishing only for like 2 years, let's say even less because of the corona. So how would you explain to me actually what is it actually, the competition? Yeah, because competitions, as always, we know there are different sports, there are different categories, this and that. So how does it work in spearfishing?
Yeah, for spearfishing competitions, there is well, the biggest 2 types are 2. It's the weight competitions and the points competitions. Those are pretty much the most popular, but the most popular, the one that most organizations use, is the point system. The point system competition is pretty much each fish has a set of points. The size doesn't really matter. It's just you have a minimum size, and even if you catch a 20 kg dusky grouper, it doesn't really change. It's just that fish has that amount of points. And pretty much you try shooting which fish you get, and then pretty much you win by points. Then there is the weight competitions, which, you know, wins whoever catches the most amount of fish, or the biggest kgs in total, or the biggest fish. Then there is also, as I mentioned earlier, it's less used, but it's also fun, but it's mainly for small organizations do this, and it's mainly just a fun type of competition, which is you have a list, and in this list you have a lot of fish, like per se, like in Italian, like you've got the dusky grouper, the bream, the corvina, the dentex, the amberjack, and you pretty much have to shoot and hunt all those fish, and the team who wins is pretty much the team who's shot all those fish beforehand. And it's really fun, but they don't really use it for proper competitions, unfortunately. But it's a fun type of competition.
So how do you like the location? Is it a good location for spearing? What would you say?
I cannot say anything for spearing.
It's a secret location, by the way, watch out.
No, but jokes apart, I mean, you guys can see. I mean, there is a jetty. There's a jetty there, there's a jetty there. And, you know, where there is jetties, there is fish.
What do you like and what you don't like about people doing during the Spearo trips? I mean, that's more about the ethics as well. That's quite interesting, but you know, sometimes some things might be annoying. So I was thinking maybe we can just share, you know, and then see what is the mainstream. Today with Robert, by the way, I had a chance today to meet with Robert, the author of the book about spearfishing. So greetings to him. And then he mentioned a few things. I'm curious, what are your ideas?
First of all, I want to say hi to Robert. Hey, dude, hurry up because we got to plan a trip, huh? We have to go sometimes because I miss you and my dad wants to see you, so we have to go dive, man. We have to go dive. There have been experiences there have been some quite unpleasant experiences during spearfishing trip. I mean, like, probably the most unpleasant one which I've had, but not really unpleasant, it was more dangerous, was, I'm not going to say names again, but a boat captain bought us spearfishing, and instead of staying with us on the boat and watching out for us, he was spearfishing in the water. So we got back in the boat and we didn't find him. He wasn't even close to the boat. Like, I don't mind if the captain goes diving, you know? I don't mind. You can go diving, but you're gonna stay next to the boat. So if anything happens, if I shout or if anyone needs help, you can get on the boat like that and you are with me. But what pissed me off is me and my team had to go to the boat and the captain was not there. We shouted, we couldn't see him. He waited 10 minutes and then this guy randomly shows up. That was probably the most annoying moment that I've ever had in my life. But you know, you always gotta be very polite to people and you can't really, you know, be rude. So me and my friend really explained it to him in a nice, peaceful manner. You know, I'm not the type to be rude. I just want to be very polite to them. And another annoying part is the Spearo that catches a lot of fish, like too much fish. Like talking about like one person catches 30 pieces of fish. And I'm just like, there, dude, honestly, what are you gonna do with 30 pieces of fish? But hey, those are my pet peeves. That's pretty much, you know, or the unsafe diver. But the unsafe diver is a diver that you meet when you go spearfishing. When you will go to do spearfishing trips, you'll meet three types of divers: the cocky one, the one that is like way too overconfident, the beginner, the young buck, as we like to call them, the guy that started spearfishing maybe for 2 months, and the unsafe one. The guy that can dive to 10 meters and he will tell you that he will dive to 40 meters and he will dive to 15 and he's gonna swim back up like that because he cannot hold his breath. So those are the three types of people that you'll meet in diving, spearfishing, you know, trips. But hey, man, honestly, this is what brings fun to spearfishing, meeting all these types of people. I honestly love each one of them. It's an amazing experience every time. It's beautiful, honestly.
I'm curious if you had a chance, I believe you had, to see the UAESPEARO survey,
Yeah.
the one that I created, and actually I'm conducting this together with these interviews, and I'm just curious, what is your response in terms of, did you like it, did you like the idea, would you recommend people to actually attend? And I believe from my perspective it's something new, but this is a great way of sharing not only the knowledge but basically spreading the community as well, and you know, keeping something together in the community is something special. So I'm just curious about your comment about something that I've done.
Honestly, man, honest to God, it's amazing. The survey is top notch because you pretty much chose the good amount of questions, not too many questions, not too little questions, and those questions are pretty much the questions that the community needs to know. It's the most important questions. You pretty much couldn't have done it better. It's really good, really good. Honestly, I would recommend everyone to do it. It's a very good, survey which also helps the spearfishing community understand the community itself, pretty much. And it's an insight to how the spearfishing community in Dubai and UAE is, which I'm really happy about. But so far, it's top notch.
In terms of topics, I mean, because we want to carry on with more surveys, not too many, something easy.
Look, a topic that I think you should put is probably which one is the most targeted fish by spearos. Which fish do you shoot more? And like that, you will see which fish they should put more restriction on. Because if you do the survey to 100 people and 90 of those people decide to shoot kingfish, you know that kingfish is very highly shot and highly sought after, then put the restrictions on it, because if we keep this up for 2-3 years, the kingfish population is going to go down. So it's also, I think, a really good thing. Then also, I think equipment and brands, because equipment and brands will also give an insight to companies and shops to what they should buy. Because if the shops have what people want, it's going to be better for all of us. It's going to be better for the community to have what they want, and it's also going to be better for the shops to get the maximum amount of income. There you go. Let's start again. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So another thing that I think you should put on the survey at the end is a question about if the community, of course, would like to have a channel or an Instagram or a Facebook or any social media where you post your content. So if you make videos, you can post your videos, you can post your channels, you can post your handles, so your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or even pictures from the spearfishing community. It would be honestly amazing, and it will bring everyone together, and that will also create a stronger bond, because it will help people get to know each other better. And honestly, you can find a new dive buddy there, or you can find a team, which is honestly amazing. So I honestly think that you should put this, and I highly recommend people to do this, which is probably a really good thing to do for this community.
All right, so this is the way to finish for today.
Unfortunately, the cameras died.
Two cameras are dead, but we are alive, and this camera is alive. Thank you so much. Also cool to host you here. So take care and see you in the water.
It's been my pleasure, huh?
Boom.
Boom.
I think I like to ask questions. I wouldn't like to be a fish in front of that gun. It's a strong gun, by the way.
Oh, it's a beautiful gun. Whoever made this gun, #1.
Yeah. Somebody who actually created this is based here in the UAE. I'm not going to say the name right now, but I hope, as I believe he accepted my invitation for the interview, not today, not tomorrow, but soon, so we'll know more about him. It's a great initiative, I think, just to manufacture, homemade, custom-made guns. That's amazing. As you have many friends here and you know many people, would you suggest some people, would you nominate some people, some interesting people with some very specific things that they do to actually let me interview them? What do you think? Because I'm looking, many of spearos are great, but I bet that there are some people that have some certain speciality, or they are into something which is more than average. Yeah. So just have a second and then think about few people. Definitely it will be not that easy to nominate, but maybe let's just think then about some ideas, about directions, what people they might be specialized with.
Okay, personally speaking, I was gonna say Robert, but unfortunately he's already beat me to it. so that's that. But I've got a few people to nominate. Really good spearos who have helped me through my journey, and I'm very thankful for it. The first person is Gene. Gene is an ISA instructor. He's amazing diver. Yeah, amazing diver. Amazing, honestly, top-notch diver. French, really good guy. Another guy that I would like to nominate is Till. Till is also a YouTuber, spear fisherman, and again, a French guy. He's been to Maldives, he's been to Minerva, he's been to so many amazing places around the world, which I think for the interview would be perfect because he has so much knowledge about it and also a really, really good spearo. And another really, really good spearo, I think that, you know, has also made me who I am now and taught me a lot is Kyriakos, or how we call him, KK. KK, how are you, man? I got you, bro. I got you.
We got you here one day.
So he's an amazing diver. He's an amazing diver. Honestly, man, I have honestly nothing to say. He is top notch, man. Top notch. Amazing breath hold, amazing techniques. Of course, from the Mediterranean. The best divers are made in the Mediterranean, guys. Always remember that. But yeah, now. Yeah, Gene, Till, and KK. Those are probably the people that you should
What
have
I
on
want
your
to
ship.
ask actually, maybe the last thing, take-home message, is basically something about us, about the community. You've been here and there, you travel the world, you also actually speared with many people, you have some comparison at least. Tell me, what would you say about the level that we as a UAE Spearos will represent? I'm just curious. It's a bit cocky question, I know, and people, of course, they might have different opinions, but I think you are a good person also to ask. I will probably ask everybody about this who is going to take part with me with the interview, but who will participate in the interview.
It's a good question. It's a really good question. Honestly, it's a thoughtful question. I mean, I'm from the Med. The thing here is that, honestly speaking, compared to the Mediterranean, I'm comparing it back. The fishing here is really easy. The fish here are not hard to shoot at all, because of course they're not targeted that hard, you know, spearfishing wise. So, you know, spearos that start in UAE aren't the best. As in, like, they're really good for here. I know people who have spearfished here and started spearfishing here who are amazing at spearfishing, but for these waters. Because of course, you know, every sea and every ocean has its, you know, pros and cons. But the really good about the community is the community in UAE is honestly is a good level, because it pretty much unites, which I love. It's probably my favorite thing about the UAE spearfishing community is that it unites people around the world. You get the French guy, the Italian guy, the Greek guy, the Brazilian guy, the Spanish guy, the Arab guy. They're all together in one community and they're all as friends, and that's what I think is the most important thing, because this just brings everything closer and everyone closer, and I love this, honestly. And that's why I think that the community here is a good community. Honestly, a very strong bond between everyone. I can see it, and everyone is all friends here, even though you don't know someone, but you meet them for the first time, and it's like you've known them for ages and ages and ages. It's beautiful, honestly. I love it. I've loved spearfishing here.